I know you said that the trouble with calling depression a disease is that you place all the onus of fixing it within the individual, and that might sometimes not be the case. I have a different version of this. I say this in my more rebellious era right now, which is I can't have a purpose or meaning if there is no divine justice. If there is no God, the law of God in place, if there is a law of man in place, how do I fight for purpose and meaning, right? Like I'm playing a distorted game that powers as they may be have shaped. But we hear this heuristic very often on the internet, Sid, that your life is full of chaos, and if you find a way to build order into this, if you only exercise on time, if you eat right on time, there is a way to sort of control that chaos and transmute that depression into normal functioning again. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that the individual could impose something of their will and come out of this? Have you seen this in your clinical practice at all? My question is, to what degree can the individual, through their own efforts, find a psychological narrative in their head that can draw them out of depression? Is there a way in which the individual has will over his depression at all?
Are you talking of drawing them out of depression or not getting depressed in the first?
Let's start with the curative. You can talk about the preventative also.
Got it.
I'm sure there's a preventative way of dealing with this. I'm sure religions have something to do with that.
Can I paraphrase your question and say, are you asking that what can a person do to manage his depression or get out of depression?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah. See, we have got great evidence about cognitive behavioral therapy, and cognitive behavioral therapy is all about what you have to do within your mind. I mean, identifying the negative thoughts, identifying the cognitive errors, working on those errors, working on those thoughts. There's Socratic questioning, there's behavioral activation. All of these things are very well documented and well backed by evidence. So we say that in a patient who has mild depression, CBT works as good as antidepressants. In fact, personally, I would always suggest a person to start with CBT. But if the person has moderate to severe depression, I would definitely ask the person to start with medications. But in mild cases, CBT works like a charm.
Yeah.
Not only CBT, even things like exercising, even things like yoga, even things like faithing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when you go to all these people, Sadhguru and all these people,
Right.
you feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were having this discussion before the podcast started. In my YouTube, I have seen so many comments, people saying that, I saw this video now feeling better.
Yeah.
Some claiming I got cured. And it does not make sense to me.
Sure.
As a doctor, it does not make sense to me that how can a 10-minute video cure anybody of any problem? But people are writing that. So this is what I was discussing. The doctor said that probably outside in the community, there are a lot of subclinical cases where they don't need the entire, force of antidepressants or therapy. Maybe some psychoeducation, maybe some understanding of what they're going through is enough to snap them out of that problem.
What they need is a reframing of what they are going through.
And let me take this opportunity to add to what ma'am said about the disease model. I mean, it's a very interesting perspective, right? I mean, as a doctor, we never think in that way. So it is very nice to hear that. And it makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. But from a clinical perspective, see, clinical is like probably the surface. We probably don't even go in the depth. As doctors, that is our problem. But disease model helps a lot of people.